Yes, so this is the noble art of wasting time. I'm Blasty. So again, I'm Blasty. And yeah, most of you probably know me. I see actually mostly familiar faces. The guy with the sunglasses over there that I don't recognize, but yeah, just a short introduction of myself. So my name is Peter, probably better known as Blasty in the computer underground. I'm a hacker, coder, geek, whatever they call it these days. And recently I quit my job, and nowadays I'm breaking embedded devices 24/7. So I have my own little company, and yeah, that's what keeps me busy. But I have a lot of spare time, or board time as I refer to it as well. And yeah, I do many things for the lulz, for like no particular reason at all, just for fun. And what are we going to talk about today? So the talk is the noble art of wasting time. I assume everyone here ends up wasting time at some point in his life. And maybe you didn't consider it as wasted time when you started something, or maybe you were actually trying to do something meaningful and in the end you thought like, this is pretty much wasted time. Or you're actually trying to waste time and you end up doing something that is actually quite useful. And yeah, hackers, programmers, geeks, they get bored as well. So they end up wasting lots of time in their own unique kind of way. Yeah, these slides, I did them last night, I think an hour and a half, so they're pretty bad. And yeah. So, before we continue with some more recent ways in which I've wasted time, I want to go back like a very, very long time. Back in, I think it was the year 2000 or 2001, I was a young and aspiring hacker. I had my first 65k internet connection, and yeah, I was trying to learn all this stuff, and I picked up a bit of programming. I was still writing code in Quick Basic at the time. I got a hold of Quick Basic 7.1, which had an option to produce executable files, which was quite nice. And well, I was not a very good programmer at the time, but you know, I could do some stuff. And as I mentioned, I recently got an internet connection. And as a young kid browsing the internet, you end up, yeah, well, looking at porn mostly. But it's funny pictures, downloading MP3s, and you know, at some point you start downloading software, and some software costs money, so you need to find cracks for software, right? And you know, you download cracks from random websites, you have no idea what you're doing, but you're clicking buttons, and it somehow works. So at some point in time, I was downloading a shitload of screensavers, actually. Screensavers, right? And screensavers are pretty awesome. They're basically executables as well. So nowadays I wouldn't download them because, well, people would probably put viruses and Bitcoin miners inside of them. But back then it was still pretty safe to run random cracks and screensavers. And so there's this popular project called Virtua Girl. And basically what it does is you can download this program and you can install it, and then you run it, and it will display nice stripping ladies on your desktop. So they're using a nice transparent GDI Windows overlay, which was quite advanced at the time, but nowadays we just call it annoying, and you would have these nice ladies triumphing over your desktop all day long. Usually you put them in the lower right corner, so they're not full screen like this, because when you're trying to do work and then the lady with a pole pops up, it's like, yeah, but... So anyway, I had downloaded this program, right? I had downloaded this stuff, and I was, well, very eager to see all these girls dancing on my desktop. And I saw on the webpage that there was literally over 25 girls in there, which seemed like a lot at the time. But when I actually got to run the program, I noticed that I could only access 3 of the girls. So there was just 3 girls that were dancing on my desktop, and the other 22 were not there. Well, that's what I assumed at first. But then I was like, this program is pretty big to contain only 3 of the girls. So where are the other 22, right? Turns out they're in the program files directory of the software as well. And the way to unlock them is that you need to rename the files, and they have an extension which is like .xxx or whatever. You rename them to .model, and then all of a sudden they become available in the program. So I had managed to unlock all the 25 girls. And as I was saying, I was a very bad Visual Quick Basic programmer at the time, so I wrote this little crack in Quick Basic, and it would unlock all the girls for Virtual Girl version 1.42, if I recall correctly. So if you still Google Virtual Girl 1.42 crack, you will find a crack by a guy named Blasty, which is basically the long and retarded version of my nickname. And yeah, and if you're at gym, you see this. I downloaded it yesterday night, and I run it in DOSBox, because I don't have a real Windows machine or DOS machine anymore. And as you can see, it still works. And yeah, you have two options, you can crack or you can exit, and yeah, that's it.
So what's with the donut in my mouth?
I was thinking the same thing, like, what was I thinking at the time, like, okay, let's put a witty quote here. Okay, witty quote. I don't think dude, I was 12. I don't know. Anyway, so I want to illustrate is that I've been wasting time for a lot of time with this. So yeah, but this was a long time ago. And,
you were able to maintain the girls? Or it was too expensive?
I know, as far as I'm concerned, it was crack once, used forever, but yeah. So anyway, it was over a decade ago, and yeah, I thought I'd share a moment. Let's talk about something a bit more recent. Does anyone know this? Omegle. Don't be shy, raise your hands. We've all been there once. Okay, Omegle, Talk to Strangers, basically a website. Well, maybe you're more familiar with chat roulette, right? I think where you have the webcams and you go like, let's have a nice evening on chat roulette, and you're on there for like 5 minutes. People start showing their dicks and like masturbating. It's like, yeah, it's basically one big circle jerk, and there's no real females there. And well, we've all tried these sites once in our life, but Omegle is a bit simpler. It's like chat roulette without the video. So you chat to people you don't know or something. I'm not sure what the fun thing about this is supposed to be. I'm not very good with strangers or like with communicating at all, but you know, so you can chat to random people. You go to this site, you click chat with a random guy or random girl, and you get the screen and someone says, hi, ASL, want a cyber, I don't know. So anyway, I was sitting there for hours, you know, chatting to random people I didn't really know. Maybe there were not people at all. And then I was like, well, we can have some fun with this, right? I know programming, it's 12 years later, I can actually do some decent programming now, and I decided to write a bot for Omegle, and decided to write it in Perl. And this bot can establish an Omegle connection and, well, insult random people. So someone would connect and just say, hey, asshole, and then log all the responses. And, you know, it was fun for like all of 5 minutes. But yeah, then I thought like, okay, so what if we set up a session, and then we set up another session, and then whatever comes in through session A, we send to session B, and whatever comes in through session B, we send to session A. So for most people it is as if they were having a normal conversation, except that I was now man in the middling their conversation. What was being said. So again, a quick overview, we established 2 sessions, we call them A and B, and whenever we get a message on A, we forward it to B, and the other way around as well. And so this way we could follow what people were saying to each other in real time. So all the time they were thinking like, okay, we're having this private one conversation, we can get really intimate with each other and stuff. But turns out we were like watching along. And so what I did was I connected this to IRC, because you know everything sucks, IRC rules, and we had this nice channel on our IRC server, and we could see the conversations between 2 people in real time. But yeah, so we had a couple of commands in this bot. The first is osmeggle. But don't ask me why it's osmeggle. You can initiate a new section for A and B, right? So whenever something breaks or whatever, I type osmeggle again and it works. And then, no, well, when you do that, we see 2 people having a conversation, right? Which is, well, interesting, but... And then what we also can do is we have say 1 and say 2. So if we use say 1, we spoof a message as if it was coming from person A. So person B will get a message from person A, But person A doesn't actually see that he sends this message. So, and we can do it the other way around as well. We can send a message from person B to person A, and person B doesn't actually see he sends this. So we could, for example, we could make person A say, "Hey asshole," and person A doesn't see he's saying this to person B, and person B goes, "What the fuck? Why are you calling me an asshole?" And person A goes, "I didn't call you an asshole." So we can create all kinds of interesting social situations. Then we had another command, it was broadcast, so we can insult the two parties at the same time, and they don't see they're insulting each other, but, you know. And, well, the most fun thing, I think, was the kick command, so it's kick 1 and kick 2. And when I do a kick 1, it will drop the person who is on side A, and it will find a new person who is on side A. The person on side B doesn't see that the person on side A is disconnected. So person B is talking to a new person A, who still assumes he is talking to the same old person. And so if you have a session like this, so I started, I was supposed to be on Smack or whatever. Then we get 2 sessions and we see people talking. And we see them all, what's your ASL? And I go on to inject like, oh, I'm a 84-year-old mill living in my basement. So yeah, and then the idiot Dr. Wax joins the conversation and he kicks out person 1, and then we get a new person 1, and he asks for the ASL again, and person 2 goes, what the fuck, we just went over this. That's how we wasted a couple evenings messing with people, their minds basically. I like to call it a social experiment. So yeah, like I said, we spent a week trolling people with this. I need a drink.
We all need it.
But eventually, the people at Omegle noticed that we were setting up a lot of sessions because we were, well, trying to take it to the next level. We were not just trying to do 2 sessions, we were trying to do 80 and then like a big group orgy conversation where nobody knows who's talking. So we were setting up lots of sessions, right? And yeah, we were cycling lots of sessions, and at some point they noticed, and yeah, we got basically thrown into this pool of spammers. So we were now making sessions with other people who were also doing malicious shit, right? So some people were spamming, some people were probably also doing the same as we were. So yeah, we were just fighting other trolls at this point. Right? We were not even annoying people anymore, we were just annoying ourselves. And well, we noticed of course that this is done based on the IP address that we were making these millions of connections from. And so yeah, we grabbed a list of public HTTP proxies, and yeah, well, you can guess the rest. You are no longer in the spammer pool. And yeah, we could definitely expand on this idea. Like, this was just like one afternoon of coding, but I was thinking like, you have these websites where you have live support nowadays. So for example, you go to a company website and on the right side you have live support, right? So you can talk to this clerk of the company, you can ask him questions. So what if we connect random Omegle people, random tech support people, and just watch them and make a tech support call? Another thing is we could take 2 tech support chats of 2 different companies, and then we take 2 companies that are like really the opposites of each other. Like, so you have a church in New Alabama, and then we take some kind of Satan something that has chat support as well. And we connect the chat support people with each other. So then now there's a support guy talking to another support guy, trying to figure out what the support guy wants support for. But yeah, there's lots of ways to expand on this idea, and we could bridge all kinds of conversations. We could listen in the middle, we can inject things, and I think we can you could potentially really ruin some stuff using this. But yeah, let's call it a day and get back to work. Let's have some fun with bitcoins. Anyone here own any bitcoin? Who has sold out yet? Where's Steph? Oh, there he's over there. Yeah, I sold mine last week, and I have to say I only had 3 left. No, that's not true. I had 7 left at some point, and I made 3,000 euros of them. But yeah, I basically threw away $17,000, 17, not 70, worth of Bitcoin by selling early. So
Yeah, but you already made your profit. I mean, it's always
shares.
It's,
In retrospect. But
yeah.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about money. We're gonna troll with Bitcoin, right? So you have this foundation here in the Netherlands, which is run by Dr. Wax, amongst other people, and it's called the Hart for Internetvrijheid.
Very hard.
Oh, sorry.
Also called HIV.
Wow. That's a totally new angle, man. What are you talking about?
Very hard.
This awesome new foundation, right? Hart for Internetvrijheid, which stands for a heart for freedom on the internet.
Yeah.
If I literally translate it. Anyway, they are trying to set up a bunch of turnouts in order to support, I don't know, criminals and hackers in the Netherlands. And I noticed that they also accept Bitcoin donations. And well, as I said, I used to be a very rich Bitcoin man until I started wasting coins and all kinds of stuff. And I decided to drop some Bitcoin into the wallet of Hart for Internetvrijheid. And well, to my surprise, I was the only guy continuously dropping small amounts in his wallet. Like there was nobody donating at all. It was just me, like dropping more money and money into this account. But when I say more and more money, I of course mean very small amounts of money. If we look at the screenshot of blockchain.info here, you can see the latest 2 transactions, and we can see they are very small fractions of an actual Bitcoin. So in the first transaction we see 0.00068 Bitcoin and then A2. And well, if you're a bit clever, then you can already see where this is going. They're quite low values, this is somewhere in the ASCII range. So yeah, I was encoding subliminal messages inside of these transactions to Hart for Internetvrijheid basically. And I did that using a script, 3 lines of bash, and the script attempted, I say attempted because it didn't fully work, but it attempted to insert secret messages by encoding ASCII characters as fractions of Bitcoin transaction amount. So we have a couple of transactions here. It only shows 2, but I did quite a few, I think 20 or so. And what does it say? So we can write some simple bash script. We have here the address as you can see, I'm a very bad bash programmer. I use awk to extract fields. You could use cut. But yeah, it works just fine, and it will extract all the transaction amounts and look through them, and then invoke Perl to actually print the ASCII value. And when you run this on this address, you get Dr. Wax sucks Oredos lol. Yeah, so
What are Oredos?
the thing is, as I said, the script attempts to do just that, and well, some transactions mysteriously got lost somewhere among the internet.
Oh, I remember.
And yeah, so the original message was Dr. Wax sucks, stores for pedos, lol. Yeah, it turned out into Dr. Wax success, Oredos, lol. Which is good enough for me. Yeah, so enough about Bitcoin, fuck Bitcoins. So, sell them all now. Let's talk about WhatsApp. Anyone here use WhatsApp? Okay.
What's that?
I personally don't like WhatsApp. It's the new hip thing to use.
It's social.
It's fucking social, yeah. And mostly back in the days we used to use SMS, right? Short message service. And I already hated that because I hate short messages and I hate typing on a fucking phone like this, like C9 keypad or whatever. And but nowadays we use WhatsApp and it makes the problem even worse because people are going to send more short messages, but now they don't have to pay for the messages anymore, so they will send you them all the time. So you're doing just some work, right? And then people are sending pictures of dicks and you know, usual stuff that goes on in these WhatsApp group chats. And yeah, it would be much better if we could interface with WhatsApp using a regular computer, or like at least have some API or some way to, you know, do it from a PC or like a normal actual machine. And yeah, some clever people, they figured out the protocol for WhatsApp, and it's basically the same as Jabber uses, except the people at WhatsApp realized that XML packets are quite bloated. So for every packet there's only so much actual usable information and the rest is just XML envelopes basically. So what they did is they invented some kind of binary compressed version of XML.
Isn't that just WBX though?
Could be, I don't know, I didn't really but basically they replace tags and attributes by like a single byte or like 2 bytes. This is an index into a lookup table. So on the other end they can convert it to XML again and then they can decode it. And it's a really annoying protocol, and I'm glad some people took it upon them to figure it out. Yeah, before we go on, there's this thing about the WhatsApp authentication model. I don't think it's still the case, but back when I was looking into WhatsApp, it used to work like this. So you have a unique phone number, right? And this is your username for WhatsApp. So it's going to authenticate against the server, and it's going to send a username, which is your phone number. So like a full version, including the country code. And then you have the password. And basically you can get WhatsApp for 2 types of devices, Android and iOS. So Apple crap and Google crap. And on the Android device, or on the Android version of the WhatsApp client, the password is constructed by taking the IMEI number of the phone. So this is the code you get when you press asterisk #06#. And you get this nice long 15-character code, I think. So you take the IMEI number, which is, well, quite unique. It's unique, but people aren't supposed to know it. Then you reverse the IMEI number, so like literally if it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you take the MD5 sum of that, and that is your password. And so on iOS it is a bit different. I'm not sure why. Maybe they cannot like retrieve the IMEI number, so they couldn't use the same scheme. So what they do is they take the Wi-Fi MAC address, and they take the Wi-Fi MAC address again, so you have 2 times the Wi-Fi MAC address, and then they make an MD5 sum of that, and that is your password. So the latter one, well, I think they're both quite a silly idea. I mean, you know, you could just generate a random password and store it somewhere in the keychain.
The Wi-Fi mechanism.
But the Wi-Fi MAC address is especially a bad idea. I mean, if we're here on this SpaceNet thing, and malicious Wilco over there is catching all our Wi-Fi MAC addresses, and I'm on there with my iPhone, then he knows my WhatsApp password, because he can just take my Wi-Fi MAC 2 times and create an MD5 sum of it, and then he can hijack my WhatsApp account and talk to all my girlfriends and stuff like that.
Wait.
So, having fun with WhatsApp using the Whats API. It's a small project by, let's see, Venomous Ox. And I don't know the guy, but he has this project up on GitHub. And you can clone it. And it has PHP and Python API bindings to talk to WhatsApp. So yeah, you know, I like bots and I like communication. Actually, if we take this and then maybe we take Omegle, then I didn't actually do that, but maybe you're like, just connect my real friends to random people over WhatsApp.
What else is going on? Why don't you cross-link it with the video streams of Geissler?
Oh yeah, thanks.
We might get onto something here. Anyway, that's not what I did.
And paste that to text.
So I built a WhatsApp bot, and I sacrificed my own phone number to run this bot for a while. So while I was developing the bot, I could not use WhatsApp on my phone, which was good because I don't like WhatsApp anyway. And yeah, the bot was not very advanced because it was written during 2 hours in the evening one time, and it had two commands. And one is echo and one is boobies. And well, echo is basically a loopback test, so I could see from another phone if my bot was still running fine and things like that. Didn't really do anything. You just type echo and it says something back. And then there's boobies, and yeah, I like to refer to that as a good way to quit smoking while you're waiting for the bus. Because when I'm waiting for something, I always look for like an excuse to do something, so then I go smoke. And smoking is not healthy, so you should not do it. You should use boobies instead. So yeah, let's. So let's look a bit at the technology behind the boobies command. So at the heart of this awesome advanced technology, there's HITR2NDB. It's a shell script and it uses bash. Well, you could use your regular shell probably. But what it does is there's a nice website. I use it as my stash, my backend. It's called HITR2NDB. I don't actually know who runs this thing. I think it's some.
Jesus Christ, of course.
Jesus Christ does. Yeah, must be himself. Yeah.
That's secret. It's a big secret who runs that thing.
I think it's someone
But we're not going to say that here.
Colo Clue something.
Anyway,
So it's, yeah, just to put that up front, HITB, that's not actually me. I'm not hosting all that material. I don't know where it comes from, but it is pretty good. So you scroll to request that, and well, if you load up the web page, you get pictures of girls, well, boobs. And girls with boobs. Anyway, so you get the latest image of the latest girl, and there's like a nice counter at the top which says this is image 3472 out of 3742. And so we use grep and awk to parse that information out, and then we get the maximum image ID. And then we need a TIT ID. So we take a random number, modulo by the maximum ID and add 1 because ID 0 doesn't exist. And then we have another command, well, which basically fetches that page and then looks for the image tag and then extracts the actual path to the image. So if you run this, you will get a URL to a picture. That's it. And if you click the picture, you get a nice girl. So that's the core technology behind the TT command, right? But now the actual TT command itself. So you send this to my bot, and the bot sends you a random image back. And well, the nice touch is that with WhatsApp you always get a small thumbnail first, right? And then you can click open, and then you get the full picture. I noticed that these are two separate images, and I can actually spoof a different image for the thumbnail for the big one. So maybe you've gotten a picture at some point which shows a nice girl in the thumbnail, then you click it and it's an ugly black guy. But what I did, I made the thumbnail into a nice present box, like on Christmas evening when you have the tree and you have the presents under there, like such a box with a nice... and then when you click open, you get the actual picture. So, like I said, when I'm waiting for the bus, instead of smoking, well, I still smoke, but I'm just there talking to my bot, Tita, and I'm waiting, and it's like, another box, and I'm like, open the presents, I'm like, oh. But yeah, anyway, so you could spoof these thumbnails, right, and you could spoof other attributes as well. We had lots of fun. I was just trying to make things work at some point, and I managed to crash 5 Android phones that were in the same group chat as I was sending crap to, because they couldn't parse couldn't deserialize my stuff. And so by pure accident I crashed 5 phones, and I was like, that's cool, right? And then eventually I got it to work. Let's talk about something different. Yeah. Enough fun with boobies and bots. So yeah, free Wi-Fi is super awesome. I use it all the time. Personally, I don't have a data subscription on my phone, so whenever I'm somewhere and there's free Wi-Fi, I will probably mooch off it. And yeah, lots of people do this as well. They don't care. They say, oh, there's an open Wi-Fi, let's just use this. And some people will use encryption on top of that, SSH or VPNs, and this makes it a bit more secure. But lots of people are stupid and naive. So we can mess with their brains, and I think my little dongle is acting up. What's this? We just continue like this? Do you like this stuff?
Less price, so it's good.
Do we fix
I went down to the crossroads, $1.38. An hour to kill, yeah, I was itching to jump. Gave it all to a fine young lady. Ink on her eyelids and a world-class romp. Don't ask me where I've been. Don't ask me how I know. There ain't no message in the bottle and a $20 high. Just about the same wherever you go. If you go downtown, you better watch your back. 'Cause they can take you down quicker than a heart attack. Pretty girls in the alley and the hard-ass nails. In the stoplight jungle, everything's for sale. Don't ask me where I've been. Don't ask me how I know.
So, we're gonna mess with people who are using public Wi-Fi. And I was looking for a way to have a portable Wi-Fi annoyance setup. And I was like, well, what's the easiest way to do this in a way that I can use my computer, my MacBook, as a man-in-the-middle device and have flexible capabilities for scripting thingies. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to be on the road all the time and I want to mess with people, then I also need a permanent internet connection, right? So I picked up Vodafone 3G dongle, and yeah, with a small data subscription, so I can use that to access the internet anywhere I am. And yeah, so then I was like, okay, how are we going to do this? I'm on OS X, OS 10, there are no IP tables. There's PF, however, I don't know PF, but turns out it's not that complicated. And then there's the Mitten proxy project, which is really cool, and I urge you all to check it out. Basically, Mitten proxy is a man-in-the-middle proxy, and you can use it to, well, view HTTP connections as they happen. So in real time with a nice cursor interface, you can scroll through it. But it also has an API for scripting your own man-in-the-middle scenarios or things you want to do with man-in-the-middle attacks. So it's really flexible and allows you to easily plug in your own mechanics using only a couple lines of code. And yeah, so, but we still need a way to actually hijack all these TCP connections and forward them to the Mitten proxy instance. And so yeah, I made this little packet filter configuration. And it says, well, any traffic on bridge 0, port 80, port it to localhost, port 8080, which is where the man-in-the-middle proxy is running. We do the same for SSL, HTTPS, and for some reason, yeah, I don't know shit about routing or network, so that doesn't help, but DNS wasn't working for all of my Vodafone stuff because it was getting assigned the wrong DNS servers by the DHCP server or whatever. They didn't work. So whatever traffic comes in on port 53 on UDP, we always throw it to the Google DNS server, so DNS actually works. And then we have one line of PFCTL magic to add this configuration to the internet sharing, not PNP chain, whatever the fuck that is. You find it on Google and it works fine. So yeah, you run this script and it will bridge your 3G dongle to your airport adapter, for example. So I'm using the Wi-Fi in my MacBook to set up an access point, and then I have the 3G dongle to actually go to the internet, and anything what happens in between I can have fun with. And so I was like, what kind of fun can we have with this? And well, we could inject 0 days browser exploits, Internet Explorer, for example, or Safari or whatever. But I don't have any 0 days, so that's a bit of a problem.
Oh shit.
Okay, well, I don't have any 0 day that I intend to burn for such a silly exercise. But we can do other funny stuff as well, right? So let's see what we can do. This is a classic example, flip.py. Basically what it does is for any HTTP response that we get, it's going to check if the content type of the response that's being returned is one from this list, so image paying PNG, GIF, JPEG. And if that is the case, then it's going to download the image or take like the image body, and it's going to write it to the disk, and it's going to flip the image 180 degrees upside down, and then it will yeah, inject that flipped over image back into the stream. So now when you're visiting a website, you will get the logos are upside down, and basically all images are flipped. And yeah, this is a really old prank, and it's known as the upside down internet. Some guy did this using squid and some magic like 10 years ago. Then we have annoying.py or irritant.py. And basically what this does is it yeah, it looks for it hooks into the response, and it will append some script text to yeah, to the HTML. So now whenever you open a web page, for every page you request, you get a random pop-up saying something like this is a test of and so yeah, it's basically just to annoy people who are visiting web pages through my open theme. But we can use this a bit differently as well. We can, well, Ski had this idea, which he stole from someone else, but we can use it to get cookies. So what we do is whenever someone requests a single web page, at the end of that HTML, we will inject iframes to a fuckload of sites. I only have like 3 here, so it's Facebook, NuNL, and MySpace, my favorite internet hangouts. But you can have a whole list of important sites and even internet sites and whatever. And it will create iframes for all of them. And when you create an iframe, the browser will try to load that page. And when it loads the page and it has any cookies already on the machine, it will also include the cookies with the HTTP connection request. And then, since we're in the middle, we grab all the cookies. So we're basically nabbing cookies, and we take over your sister's MySpace session, and you know.
It will probably not work for Facebook anymore.
Yeah, well, it will probably not work for a lot of places indeed, but
everything was just SSL.
Yeah, yes, this is true, but you know the idea is nice.
Yeah.
Well, if you click continue, it still works.
Yeah, if you SSL then in the middle, yeah.
You can just send any certificate.
And we had another script. I don't think there's a slide for it here, but it's a bit like flip.py. But instead of flipping the image, it will. We have a folder on the local disk with all kinds of troll images, meme pics, memes. Sorry. And yeah, we will return a random meme. So one will be like Clarence going. oh my god, this is stolen Wi-Fi, what am I doing? And it's like, yo doc, I heard you like free internet, so we put the internet in your internet, yeah. So basically whenever you open like nu.nl or whatever, every single image will be a meme instead of the actual image that goes there. I don't have any screenshot of it. So yeah, one quick last thing, some recent time wasting, nothing to do with the Wi-Fi. I assume you all know what a knob is, a no operation. On various architectures you have instructions that have no effect or have little effect and could be considered no effect. But on x86, which I practice a lot for exploits, we have lots of knobs actually, or we have lots of single character opcodes that could be seen as some kind of knob. And so yeah, in a classic situation we have a knob sled, like a really classic situation. Nowadays you don't see too many knob sleds anymore, so we have a whole sled of knobs, and then here we have our shellcode. And if we land somewhere in the middle, it doesn't matter because it will slide over those knobs and then it will execute the shellcode. And normal knob is hex 90 for x86. But yeah, we can also use different opcodes and build LOL sleds, as I call them. So a simple example is the letters G and O. The letter G is actually an INC DI instruction, and the letter O is actually a decrement EDI instruction. So if you type go 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 go, it's also a knob sled. It will work as a knob sled, and we can jump anywhere within the goes and have a shellcode after it, and it will look funnier in memory.
Blasty, you're talking about sleds and knobs. I do have some
Sleds. Sleds is
I know.
Sleds, yeah. Just to be clear. So yeah, me and Skier were getting drunk and eating pizza on a Saturday. And yeah, as these things happen, we write crazy code. And so we decided to add LOL sled support to MoneyShot. MoneyShot is my exploitation tool, which has very useful features and not so useful ones like this. And basically what we say is, well, we want LOL sleds, right? And here's the dictionary. So I use a standard system dictionary, and it will pass through all the words in the dictionary, uppercase them because lowercase gives very bad x86 code. And then for every word, it will do a minimal subset of x86 emulation and disassembly in order to show you, like, so we have the word late here, for example. Late. And then late translates to these four opcodes. And then at the end it says clobber, and then there's an empty list. So what the clobber basically means is it's keeping track of all the register states, so the increments and decrements. And if the final result is basically the same as it was at the start, then we have an empty clobber. And things with an empty clobber are usually safe to use in a LOL sled. You might have problems with ones that touch the stack pointer or the base pointer or whatever. So, but yeah, basically what we could do is we could take all these words, there are many more, and we could use them to form a nice story, and that story could be used as our knob sled. So yeah, it really doesn't serve any purpose. No point to it. But some quick shout outs. Partners in Wasting Time, DSC, represent. This guy is fucking genius. He's written this tool called Dushi.py. He's taking over, vast amounts of the internet, piece by piece. And yeah, you can see it live in action on our 2600NL IRC channel. I invite you all to come over and get trolled. Then there's Dr. Wax. I would like to add some special shots to him, because I had to ruin his reputation a bit earlier during the talk with the Bitcoin stuff, but I hope you enjoy the money.
Well, I actually was waiting till you were going to show like the screenshot of WhatsApp where I request like Ruby picture.
Yeah, mine too.
I was like, when is it gonna come?
Yeah, I'm sorry. And of course I would like to thank the whole Hack in the Box and the Hack in the Road and NL Database crew for this fantastic event and hosting me for the third time in a row. This is actually, I think, my 6th or 5th presentation this year. And I'm fucking sick of them, and I'm not going to do another this year, but next year I'll probably do it. You have feedback? Too fucking bad.